But let's get into the topic of the day, because we're talking about clouding the title on your seller's property to protect your purchase agreement with them. So once you've received a signed purchase agreement, you will want to file an affidavit and memorandum of agreement concerning real estate, also known as the A&M. This is not the purchase agreement. This is not the purchase agreement. The purchase agreement, your contract with the seller, should never be filed with the courts. The A&M is just a simple one-page letter that declares your interest in the property and your agreement with the seller. It just puts people on notice that you have an agreement to purchase the property, okay? And as long as the seller closes with you as they've agreed, they'll never even know you filed it. They don't need to know. It doesn't matter. But you will need to sign and notarize the A&M letter, the one-page document, before recording it with the Register of Deeds. This document will cloud the property's title so that the seller cannot sell the property to anyone else other than you. Have you heard about that before? Does that make sense? Some counties will require, or I guess most counties will require some sort of payment to record the A&M. It's typically between $10 and $30. And Patricia, Rob, I don't know if you're on here, but I saw your question saying, isn't that thousands of dollars and doesn't that have to be recorded with an attorney? No, no. But if you have not filed with the county before, you will need to contact the Register of Deeds of that county and just ask them a few questions, okay? Some of the questions you want to ask are, what's the name and address that you want me to send my document to, okay? A lot of times when you call them, they're going to be like, I don't know what this form is or why you want to send it to me. It doesn't really matter if they understand what the form is. You just are asking, what's the process for getting something recorded at the Register of Deeds, okay? So are there any specific requirements in order to record a document? For example, I've received my A&M letter to the county back returned in the mail before with my document inside and my check, because I sent a form of payment as a check. And the note they sent with it said that when I can include a 3-inch top margin, then they will file it. I growled about that one. I was like, really? But yes. Okay, so you need just go ahead and call up front and just find out. It'll save you a couple stamps, but ask them if a returned stamped envelope is required. I've had them come back to me for that also. And how much is the cost to file a one-page document? And what form of payment do they accept? I mean, just ask all these questions up front and it will save you some time and an extra headache. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the steps to file an A&M. I'm going to provide you with the exact A&M template that I use every day in my business in just a minute. But it'll have a few blanks where you can enter all the details of your transaction as well as your personal contact information. Be sure to wait and sign the letter in front of a notary. And then remember, a notary signature can be obtained from your personal bank, usually free of charge. Just go to wherever your checking account is. Just walk into one of their branches and say, hey, would you mind notarizing this document for me? It's no big deal and they won't charge you. And then you'll need to mail the letter and the payment, which I usually just send a check, to the Register of Deeds to be recorded. Okay? All right, any questions about that? Okay, so what does this document actually do for us? Okay, let's talk about that for a second, because if the seller tries to close with another buyer, then the title company that searches the title for them, they'll see that the seller has an agreement with you. They'll see that this is on file as recorded, and they'll reach out to you to discuss it further. And at that time, you will inform them that the seller already has an agreement with you and they're not supposed to be entering into any other sale with any other buyer. So this will stop the seller's closing with another buyer because the title company will not issue a title policy to insure the title, knowing that you have an interest in purchasing the property. The seller would be unable to sell the property until the A&M is released by you or the statute of limitations has expired. And that statute of limitations varies by county, so you'll need to review with the associated government entity. That could be another question that you ask them on the front end. So this A&M is just, it's a powerful tool that puts you in control and prevents the seller from closing on a higher offer from another investor after they've already signed an agreement with you. And it has helped me in a number of situations. One seller found out I had it listed for sale and called to say she changed her mind. She shared she shared a story about how the property had been in her family for multiple generations and how she just sadly just couldn't let it go. And she said she couldn't understand why I would want it since 12 of the 13 acres were in a flood zone and it was technically landlocked. Of course, none of this was mentioned to me when I was putting it under contract to purchase. But anyway, when I did end up finding a buyer and I set a closing date, then the seller refused to sign. She just refused to sign. So I had to spend about $1,000 to hire a litigator who then reviewed my purchase agreement and my A&M letter to verify my claim. Then he agreed with me and he talked to her attorney to explain the situation, and her attorney explained it to her. And then my attorney sent a letter to the seller to, just kind of notify her that changing your mind is really not grounds for canceling a contract in that particular state. And so after some negotiation, the seller finally did agree to close. And, she mainly just negotiated with me that she wouldn't have to pay my attorney fees or any other breach of contract penalties. And so I agreed with that. And the seller finally signed to close the deal. And in the end, I still made $22,000 on the deal. I would I would tell you not to get too excited about any deal until it actually closes, because there can be so many stumbling points along the way. So just consider yourself like a problem solver and just don't get too excited. Don't get too emotional about your deal until it goes all the way to the closing, because lots of things happen that try to mess up your deal. So just stay focused. Let's see, Kenny, I see your question. What is the full name again of the A&M? Okay, the formal long name, Kenny, it's an affidavit and memorandum of agreement concerning real estate. And you can get my exact form that I'm using in just a minute. I'm going to give you the link to go get it. All right, one more thing I want to mention is that after the Register of Deeds records your document, they will return a copy back to you in the mail at the address you listed in the footer of the A&M form. Okay, this copy will have the stamped recording, which will give you the document number, the book and page number where it was recorded. And you'll need this information in order to file a release of the A&M later on when you're ready to close with your end buyer. Because again, the title company won't close you until that is released. Jonathan, yes, there is a fee to file the A&M, and it varies by county, but it's usually only $10 to $30. I think the most I've paid is probably $26. All right, so let's get your land investing business moving forward today. Okay, you can do this, and I'll help you. Next, I'm going to list a few website addresses that will help you go ahead and get things started. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pen, or otherwise just record somewhere the website addresses that I'm about to give you. All right, right now, you can get the exact letter and blind offer purchase contract that I'm sending to prospective sellers by just going to landflipping101.com. Now, you can also get a copy of my A&M letter at that same website, but instead of just landflipping101.com, put in a / and then the word sample-am. All right, and then for just a very limited time, I'm going to be keeping my training available for purchase at landflipping101.com / course. Now, you can also just private message me if you have questions about your land investing business. You can also post your question in the Land Flipping 101 Facebook group, or you can send me an email at chris@landflipping101.com. You can do this, and I'll help you. Okay, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I will be taking next week off, enjoying my family for Thanksgiving, and I hope you will feel free to still message me, because I do still check all my messages, but I'll probably just take some time off. I hope you will too, and work on putting your plan together for 2022. Start setting your goals now, And let's include land investing in that. I think it's the best business out there. I think it's the best kept secret. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.